All right. Well, the last thing I want to talk about today is this. Have you guys been following? Of course, there's this union drive in an Amazon fulfillment center in Bessemer, Alabama, and like this
Mhm.
story is getting a lot of press. And Bernie Sanders, to his credit, has been pushing it very admirably into the public sphere. But like the weird thing that's going on though is that, like like these workers are getting a lot of press for the what we've been hearing about for a long time, the fucking just unspeakable working conditions that they have to endure, of like their every single blink and breath is monitored by some sort of fucking algorithm, just like every single step that they make is like graded by some like data metric about productivity. They're not allowed to go to the bathroom. I mean, there was one story in another fulfillment center of like a guy dying and people were like stepping over him, so they didn't want to like get docked for like taking a second to like notice that their colleague has ceased to be alive. But it's weird though, because like I'm sort of surprised at how over the top Amazon's reaction to this has been, because I would just assume that like they have more money than like most nation states. I mean, like they are the size of like most the economies of like half of the countries in the world combined, like, and presumably have pretty much most of the U.S. government in their pocket. But Bernie Sanders is out there, and they're like, have you noticed the thing where like they're the CEO of Amazon, this guy Dave Clark, took it upon himself to like at Bernie Sanders and like talk shit about him, which says to me something like that they are kind of concerned about this, or it seems like they wouldn't be doing that if they weren't shook in some way. Like this obscene and quite bad PR push that they're attempting to mount now, it would seem to me that they are concerned about this issue becoming like sort of entering the public consciousness, or just that the idea that they don't want people to associate the Amazon brand with like Dickensian workhouse conditions.
But they also don't want to recognize a union, so they just have to tell people, yeah, they can pee whatever they want. What are you talking about?
This was not like one of those bot accounts which are like really terrifying. Like all those like joined last month, 2 followers, and they all have like the little box logo and the display name, and they're all like Amazon Gen. I love working here. Amazon is a great workplace that has given me plenty of room to grow. I don't know if it's scarier that these are bots or that they're real people. But I'm talking about like the actual like higher ups in the company. Did you see that thing where they were like, you don't really believe the peeing in bottles story, do you? I mean, that's a huge tell. Of course I fucking believe it, because you're saying that line. And they're like, you don't really believe that, do you? It's just like, you could not look more guilty. Like they know that pissing in a bottle shit is 1000% true.
Well, not only that, internal documents say that there's that drivers and shit are have to clear the van of any bottles, and they'll get penalized if any urine is found. Meaning they know these people are peeing in the bottles, but as others have pointed out, but they tell them that they'll be penalized if they do. So they're taking it seriously.
I just have a couple of these tweets from these Amazon accounts. This is they're all these like just sort of like happy young white women, which is weird because at the Bessemer plant, I think the staff is like 80% African American and mostly women. But these are like the Avies are all these like attractive young white women, and they're saying things like, I'm glad the base pay was raised to $15 in 2018. Now I make a base of $16.25 for being here 3+ years. Doing the same physical repetitive work every day can be a lot, but my managers have always tried to switch up my role whenever I mention that I need a change. And then someone else, this is Jaden, Amazon FC Jaden, another like seemingly young white woman in her 20s. Hello, Twitter. I'm Jaden. I work at Amazon in Washington, and I joined this team where I can answer your questions about what it's like to work at Amazon. I'm here to be real and spill the tea. Hit me with your questions, friends.
Oh, man.
Oh, spill that tea.
I'm just sipping the tea.
Your counsel did not say, Chief. The tea has been spilled.
Sis, we need the tea.
Amazon.
If you spill that tea, you will be fired, by the way.
Amazon FC Yola. She goes, responding to someone who says, wow, that's incredible. Alexa can do anything except provide bathroom breaks and safe working conditions. Yola, Amazon for FC, says, she can't, unfortunately, laughing emoji, but luckily for me, my building is super safe and has an amazing safety team, as well as vending machines that provide safety equipment. There is also bathrooms located on every floor, as well as a bathroom inside each of the 4 break rooms. You notice she doesn't say anything about whether you're able to use any of these bathrooms in the building. We got plenty of bathrooms. Just don't avail yourself of it, or else the Skynet FC will come down on you.
I think they're just going to mandate, to fix this whole fucking issue, they're just going to mandate catheters for everybody. That solves the problem.
This is Amazon FC Gary. He says, hi, real human here. I've been with Amazon almost 6 years now, and as a tier 1 associate, I can safely say that here at Oak 4, I've never felt like it's been bad for me. If anything, Amazon has offered me tons of opportunities to grow. And like, this is just the flavor of like what I said is like this very half-assed PR attempt. And it's like, maybe it's so half-assed because they know how powerful they are. But I mean, like I said, it speaks to something that they are very concerned about, this union drive. And like, I think actually the Bessemer plant, the Bessemer facility is voting on Union Drive right now. So best of luck to them. But it just seems to me that like, I think they realize that if this gains momentum, even if they can weather this one thing, or like, you know, shove it under the, in conjunction with like a popular politician like Bernie taking this up as a cause and making it very personal about Jeff Bezos's like insane wealth, like in the minds of people, it's just like, why are you trying so hard to fight like better working conditions or like higher wages or some sort of collective bargaining power when you have more money than God? Like, you know, what difference does it make to you personally or Amazon's bottom line? And I think the answer is everything, because like, I think their whole model is just about, nothing is enough. There is no such thing as like we are as efficient and productive as we need to be. We're worth $10 trillion. It's like, it's never enough. And I think like any attempt by the public sphere or to like wrest back some kind of control or to impose conditions on them on behalf of their workers or the public conscience at large is very dangerous to them, and they are very afraid of it. I mean, put your hand to the brain bug right now. It's afraid. It's afraid right now. And the brain, hey, Bug FC here. I've been a tier 1 associate of the Brain Bug for several years now, and I gotta say, after they took out my brain, I'm much happier. I love working on the Bug Planet. It's great. Like, yeah, like, and then also like they've been of course subjecting their employees to like nonstop mandatory anti-union propaganda as well. And I just love all the rules about like how you can and can't talk about forming a union with your employees, like putting up a sign or anything like that. If you're anti-union, you can do whatever you want and say whatever you want to your employees, and like just subject them to like nonstop surveillance and propaganda on behalf of this idea that like, hey, we're all a family here at Amazon. And I just think they don't like, among young people especially, I don't think they want the Amazon name associated with this kind of wanton cruelty. Like I said, I mean, I'm very pessimistic. My general attitude is that they can get away with whatever they want to do, because like they basically are a state right now. But for the time being, I mean, they still are smaller than the United States government. So I do credit Bernie a lot with being as vocal as he has been about supporting this union drive.
I think my favorite my favorite tweet from Totally Real person was from Lulu. I'm beginning to worry that there's a problem with UTIs across the country, given how frequently many of you need a bathroom break. You really should see a doctor about that. Literally telling people that they're peeing too much.
Wait, no, but wait, that's a good point though, because she's saying that, like, oh, like, do you really need to go to the bathroom so many times? Even if you don't, it's your right to take a fucking bathroom break. Even if you just go in there and look at your phone or jack off or fucking just splash water on your face. Just remove yourself. You need a breather. Like, it is your goddamn right to go to the bathroom for whatever reason. You know, like, it's not your employer's concern. It's just this whole thing where it's just like, and you know what? Like, I've read accounts of like what it's like for the management at Amazon. I'm talking about people like high up in the corporation, and obviously, I feel no pity for these people whatsoever. But the corporate culture there is also insane. And like, there's shit about how like the standard is that if you receive an email at any time of day, weekend, vacation, nighttime, it is basically you have 5 minutes to respond to it. And if you don't, like, then that is a problem. And you were docked, and you were like, the algorithm begins to sort of tighten around your neck. And like I said, like, I just think for companies like this, and Amazon is a perfect example of like this kind of capitalism, or just capitalism in general, rather, there is no limit. There is no enough. There is no we've made enough money. We are as productive as we need to be. We are as efficient as we need to be. There is no limit, and what the human body and mind can bear, has no bearing whatsoever on this relentless, this nameless, faceless drive towards more.
Yeah, you can't stand to it, and if you will be, your life force will be extruded like a fucking toothpaste out of a toothpaste tube to get the last gasp of this thing that's clearly in a crisis moment that can't be resolved through anything other than hyper exploitation.
Well, best of luck to those employees in Bessemer. I'd be interested to see how this union drive goes, and just hopefully, if it's successful, it will augur some similar. We'll maybe get some momentum going behind this thing, and and make workplace conditions and the power of collective bargaining hopefully become like a salient political issue again. I won't hold my breath with. I don't know. Maybe this PRO Act will get passed. Who knows? Some good things could happen, but like I said, maintain. We don't need to maintain too much of a pessimism, but I'll believe it when I see it. Let's put it that way. From the new FDR administration.
Yeah, in that there's concentration camps. That's the similarity. I actually do think that Biden is like better in a sense. Like he's bolder. He's doing more than Obama did, but that's because things are that much worse. There's the bare minimum is more than it used to be because we already had a 2008 collapse, and then we had the non-existent recovery from that pushed people out of their homes and gigified labor and made everything more precarious. And now we've got everything that's happening now, like the pandemic, is happening on top of that. So the bare minimum becomes more extensive and more robust than it was in 2008. But that just speaks to how much more baling wire and fucking tape is holding things together.
Yeah. Also, they know the exact formula they think to not lose the presidency again, to keep this whole thing going. So I don't know. We'll see how long it lasts.
Yeah.
Did you see this thing where like one of the biggest groups that are organizing against the PRO Act are freelancers?
Yeah,
what a fucking
they should
op
do.
that is.
I saw an idea for a million freelancer march, and it's like, that would be awesome. The way that would make like just 90% approval ratings for the PRO Act. Then, if they do the freelancer march,
no, actually, we should start organizing this. We really should. That's actually a brilliant idea. If we want this PRO Act passed, we need to get every annoying media freelancer to march on Washington, or just at least be more open to like talk about why they feel personally disadvantaged by the PRO Act. Sorry, there's just one last exchange here from the Amazon accounts. This is Amazon FC Darla says, "So glad to be on Twitter. Feel free to ask me anything about my experiences as a member of the Amazon family. I'm an open book." Quote tweeted by Amazon FC Lula. "Me too. It's so lucky to have the God-given American freedom to actually talk openly about our awesome jobs." And then she says here, "What bothers me most about unions is there's no ability to opt out of dues. As a single mother with 2 boys, I'm barely scraping by as it is. And now unions want to come to Amazon and make them pay a piece of my salary? No thanks." To which Amazon FC Lula says, "Yeah, unions should actually follow through on their commitment to workers by offering dues schedules rated against your actual earned income or something. Forcing innocent Amazonians to pay hundreds of thousands to make up for the company's lack of safety measures is dumb." It's just like it's just the incredibly shoddy, like really shitty low effort of this is just, I don't know whether I should be terrified by how fucking craven and lazy it all is, or encouraged by like that this is the best that they can come up with. But
it's a
I'm
question
scared
of
because
whether
my question is like, or is this because they know they don't need to fucking come up with anything?
Exactly. Yeah. Like the bare
justifiable.
You're doing bare minimum to keep your job because you just are supposed to have a public face to keep up the kayfabe that there is a public deliberative element to any of this. So all you could just hire out the Hasbara room in Tel Aviv, where they like a bunch of guys who are now like splitting halftime between talking about how everybody in Gaza just doesn't want a vaccine, and then talking about how great Amazon is.
I should also note that fucking Obama's former press secretary, Jay Carney, is the head of PR for Amazon. And the way that the tack that they've taken with Bernie on this is that they're like, oh, Bernie talks a lot about $15 an hour minimum wage, but has he ever passed the $15 minimum wage act? No, I don't think so. So they're just saying, like, Bernie's been a politician. He's had all this time to make sure, he says he wants better wages for workers and stronger unions, but what has he actually done? Here at Amazon, we're delivering, and it's just like, yeah, like he hasn't been able to get it done because like you've stitched up every piece of legislation and politician in Washington at your behest. So it's just like, it's a reiteration of the whole line of like, oh, what bills has Bernie actually passed? He's been in Washington forever. He hasn't got it done. It's just like, well, yeah, I mean, it's pretty fucking hard when you're the only guy fucking standing up for what's right.
And you have to fight against guys like this.
Yeah. When Jay Carney, the former White House press secretary, is now the head of communications for like the world's most powerful company. I mean, yeah, like it's just, yeah. I mean, it's pretty bad. I hope these people choke to death on shit, though. I really do.
That would be cool.